Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you today and share how I helped Shannon, who is a busy twin mom, lose 60 pounds in a year without giving up travel or family movie night snacks with her kids. I'm going to take you through the step-by-step process of exactly how we did this and how she is keeping it off for good. So this video is for any busy moms who are really struggling to prioritize finding that time for yourselves or knowing the right things to do in order to achieve your fitness goals. So make sure to pay close attention, close all your tabs because I'm giving you all the steps, all the secrets, every single thing we did in this video. So, first of all, Shannon went from believing that it wasn't going to work for her because of past failed attempts. This wasn't the first time that she invested into her health and fitness. She had worked with other coaches in the past as well, but she went from believing that it wasn't going to work to deciding to give it one last shot with my program and reaching all of her goals for good. She went from believing that she didn't have the time with work and running kids around to school and extracurriculars to prioritizing the time for herself and realizing how much better she felt and how much more she could be there for her family and everyone in her life when she really prioritized taking care of herself. She went from believing that this too would just be temporary and she would fall back into the cycle of investing in a coach, doing it for a little while, and then falling off track hard and just giving up, to committing for a whole year and really focusing on building those long-term lasting habits. So, before we get into the step-by-step process, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I have a similar story to Shannon. I had similar beliefs and struggles before I really found myself through fitness. Investing in my health and seeing the results that I had been wanting to achieve for so long literally changed my life. And that is when I really decided that my purpose was to help others never feel stuck and helpless and start changing other people's lives one day at a time. So I have actually gone through three long-term weight loss journeys. This is a picture of my first one while I was a full-time student working full-time. I lost 70 pounds on my first journey. I managed to maintain it and stay at my goal weight for a whole year. And then I found out I was pregnant. I had a very hard pregnancy and I gained 85 pounds, so more than I had lost previously. But by that point, I knew what I had to do. I had loved the journey the first time and I got to love it the second time. And I got back to my goal weight for my wedding. And then I had my second baby, and now we are in the midst of, my third long-term weight loss journey. Again, I love the journey. I'm having fun on it, and I love that I get to be right there in it with my clients, doing the same things and sharing my struggles and wins as well. So I've been a coach now for 7 years, and I've helped hundreds of women reach their goals. For a little bit about my background in education, I do have a Bachelor of Science in Applied Human Nutrition and a PT certification. So when Shannon first came to me, she had worked with other coaches before. She had tried working out here and there. She even had invested in a full home gym that she wasn't using consistently. Nothing ever stuck long term. She struggled with an all or nothing mindset. She'd lose 20 to 30 pounds and gain it back repeatedly because she thought that vacation set her back too much to just continue, or, weekend getaway set her back and that there was no point anymore. Oh, like many of my clients, Shannon found herself staring into her closet day after day, feeling like nothing she owned made her feel confident enough to go out. She started missing social events, hiding from the camera, and just stepping back from life itself and feeling very held back by a constant fear of judgment. She was under eating and not properly fueling her body. She was struggling with poor sleep, low energy, and foggy mental clarity. She felt lost and unsure of herself, often being overly critical because of every attempt seeming to fail. And I wish you could, meet before Shannon and now Shannon because they're like two completely different people. She now goes to the gym on her own. She's confident in the gym. She's wearing those cute outfits. She has way more energy, better sleep. Her mental health is so much better. And you can really tell, even just like looking at her social media, you can tell how much more confident she is because she was always sharing life with her kids and the trips they would go on and the fun things they would do. But before, she was often hiding in the background or hiding behind the camera. And now I see so many pictures and videos of her with her kids, not just posed, but like having fun, dancing around in a bathing suit on the beach. And I love to see it that she is just living her life so much more now and not being self-conscious and caring so much what other people thinks. She's got to love shopping and go out and buy a ton of new clothes. She's not hiding on the beach anymore. We have created habits that stuck. So even if she can't make it to the gym when she planned, even if she goes for a week-long vacation, she is still getting right back to it. She knows that she can maintain this long term because we built those habits. Even if life gets busy, she walks on her walking pad. She finds ways to stay active and maintain that progress. And she feels confident in her food choices. She knows that it's all about balance. She's not scared to treat herself sometimes. And she knows that it is not all or nothing. And then if you just get right back on track, that is what makes the difference. The only way you are not going to get to your goal is if you give up when it doesn't seem to be working yet, or, you have a bad weekend and then decide that that month of progress is no longer worth it. You just need to keep getting right back on, and you will continue to see progress. So, how we made these changes, there's a lot of things that went into it, but I'm going to share absolutely everything with you guys here. So, the all or nothing mindset was one of the first things that needed to be addressed. And that's when having support is so essential because every single time that she, you know, wasn't perfect with her planning, she was had me there to talk her through it. She had me there to remind her that you are not a outcome of what you do one day. You are a product of what you do most of the time, okay? So just if you're out there and you're on this journey, remember that one bad day does not equal all your progress gone, okay? And we stayed off the scale a lot of the time. Okay, do not weigh yourself every day. Your weight fluctuates. It's meant to go up and down. It goes up and down for so many reasons. So Shannon stayed off the scale. She only weighed herself like every couple of weeks to every month because then she saw the progress, okay? If you weigh yourself every day, no matter if you're trying to gain weight or trying to lose weight, you're going to see it go up and down daily. That is completely normal. It is based on, how much water's in your body, how much food's in your body, so many things. And it is not the only way to see progress, okay? Some people even that I've worked with experience them gaining muscle before they lose fat. So sometimes people's weight goes up a little and then it takes a couple weeks to start going down. That's completely normal too. The scale does not tell the whole story. So if you're someone who struggles with the all or nothing mindset like Shannon did, taking a step back, not getting on the scale and really focusing on creating those healthy habits instead can make a world of difference. Now, we also made a custom meal plan that allowed for balance and was tailored around making supper for her family that everyone would eat. And with Shannon, we are actually working on eating more, not less. So it's funny because a lot of people that come to me are actually not eating enough to see the results. And this tends to happen when people have tried things on their own. So if you're busy, if you're like not really wanting to commit, but you've tried other things and you've tried like tracking your food on your own, there's a good chance you're not eating enough, just like Shannon was. Okay, like 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, that is not enough food, and your body's going to get used to that amount, and it's going to make it even harder for you to lose weight. So, how did we get past that? We increased her calories right off the bat. We made sure she was eating more protein. So she was eating like under 1,000 calories when we first started. She was really restricting her food, probably around 800 on average, like was hardly eating anything for breakfast and lunch, and then having a very small portion of what she made her family for supper. So I knew we had to change this. So we started with 1,200 calories, which felt like a bit of a jump for her, but she started feeling more energized and better already. Now, 1,200 was not the end goal, okay? We had to change this as we went, but 1,200 was a good starting point for her because we didn't want to make too drastic of a jump. So she started eating more calories and also more protein, okay? Because protein is going to help with your metabolism, it's going to help keep you full longer, and it's going to help you build muscle and burn fat, okay? So we upped her protein, we upped her calories, and it helped her lose weight. Sometimes that's what you got to do. We also made a training program that she could stick with. So we wanted to keep it very simple in the beginning to make sure that she wouldn't get into that all or nothing mindset phase where like one workout was missed and it was the end of the world. So we started with 2 workouts a week, one upper body and one lower body in the gym. Okay. And then I put in some walks on the other days. So she lives in a nice area with some walking trails, but we are in Canada. So, all year round is not ideal for walking. She also had a walking pad. So, I told her that you just need to get these 2 workouts in each week. Okay. Plan it out. Planning is key. Look at your schedule. Look at all the places you need to take your kids. Look at your work schedule. Look at everything and make sure you have an exact plan on when you're going to do these. Put them in your calendar as if it was like an appointment you have to go to. Make sure they are prioritized. Now, I know you have kids, okay? So, like, if something comes up, they can be moved. But again, if you have to move them, look at your schedule, look where it fits in. Don't just put it off as one of those things that, you say you're going to do eventually and don't. You need to find a plan. Like if you had a hair appointment that needed to be rescheduled, you would look at your calendar and you would find another time. That's what you got to do with your workouts. You have to treat it as a priority, not something extra on top of your life. So once we got that through to Shannon, she was really able to commit to those 2 workouts a week. She found times that worked for her. And if something came up, as it does with kids, she would, reschedule it for later in the week and then, get on her walking pad once the kids are asleep. So she still got some movement in that day, was still moving towards her goals. And another thing that really changed things for Shannon was adding her to my community of women on the same journey. I cannot stress how nice it is to have other people on this journey with you. Like I hear some clients say that, my friends aren't supportive, my partner's not supportive, my family's not supportive. You need support in your life, okay? You need to find a gym buddy or a coach or a partner who will support you in this, okay? Because it feels so lonely when you're working on yourself, but no one else is there with you. No one else is cheering you on, okay? So even if it's not a coach, even if it's just a friend, even if you meet the friend at the gym and say, I need someone for accountability, like just find someone who is on your side and wants you to do better and be better because it can be done by yourself on your own, but it is so much easier when you have people cheering you on, people on the same journey, people in your corner. So me and Shannon kept in contact almost daily. I checked in with her so often. I made sure I was available to answer all her questions and keep her on the right track. But also what Shannon did really well is she reached out when she was having a bad day. I didn't have to send her multiple messages, give her a phone call, say, "Where are you? Stop ghosting me. It's okay if you fell off. It's time to get back on." She was on it. She was like, "I'm not feeling it today." And that is all I needed to really give her the right advice based on how much I had learned about her and knew about her at that point to really give her the kick in the butt she needed to get right back at it. And, explaining why she's doing what she's doing is a huge thing. Like, if you don't know exactly why things are happening, it can be easier to question them and not want to do them. Like, when I tell a lot of people, like, hey, listen, we need to eat more to lose weight. A lot of people are like, whoa, 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 and they feel resistant to that and they question it. So I really make sure they understand why we're doing that. Like, listen, your body has gotten used to this amount of calories. If we eat less, you're going to feel worse. You're going to feel hungry. You're going to feel less energy than you already have. We need to eat more. It's going to help fuel your workouts. It's going to be the change your body needs to start losing weight and feeling better. And once they really understand the why, then it's easier for them to follow through. Same with why we're starting with 2 workouts a week. When people are in that all or nothing mindset, they really want to hear that we're going to do like 5 or 6 workouts a week, but that is not sustainable. We want to build habits here. I want you to be able to do this program, and in 6 months from now, go on your own, continue seeing progress or maintaining the progress that you have already made. I want you to know how and why to do that and how you can do that on your own and how you can make that last forever. So we eventually went from 2 workouts a week to 5 workouts a week, but that is when she felt that those 2 workouts were solid. When she was consistently every single week hitting those 2 workouts for like 6 weeks, I was like, okay, it's time to take it up a notch. And we went to 3. We didn't go straight to 5 or 6. We went from 2 to 3. And once she, for 1 to 2 months was hitting those 3 workouts, then we went to 4. Okay. And you know what? If you're really busy and you don't want to go up, we don't have to. You can keep it at those 2 or 3 workouts a week and still see the progress that you want to see if that is all you have time for. I promise it will still work, but you need to be hitting all of your muscle groups each week. So there are other ways in limited time that we can advance your workouts, make them harder, make sure you're still seeing progress without you going to a gym 5 days a week. You could even do all your workouts from home if you wanted to. Shannon is someone who finds that she does not have the same kind of motivation at home as she does at the gym. So that's why she wanted to work up to doing mostly gym workouts. So I also supported Shannon through this process on how to still see process when she was living her life. Okay. So, how to be mindful on vacation. And I find with most people that because my approach is not overly restrictive, they do not feel the need to overdo it on vacation, overcompensate for all they've been missing in their life. Because we have that balance, because she still has, those birthday parties and weddings and this, that, and the other thing, holidays where she does treat herself. She doesn't feel the need to go nuts for a whole week when she's on vacation. She is mindful. She pays attention to her meals. Yeah, maybe she'll have a nice dessert one night. Maybe she'll have a couple drinks another night. But, she's staying active. She's going for a walk along the beach. Maybe she's hitting a couple workouts in the gym that they have access to while she's away. She is learning how to not gain weight on vacation. And that's what I tell people the goal is, okay? Don't try to lose weight on vacation. Just try to maintain your progress. Don't go off the rails. Have a little more balance than you have in your day-to-day life, but make the better choices, which you've now learned to do. Make sure you are prioritizing protein in the meals that you have access to. Make sure you are controlling the meals that you can control as best as you can. Make sure you're still getting movement in, even if you don't have access to a gym, aim for a step goal. Make sure you're drinking lots of water throughout the day. Maybe go swimming. Like, there are so many ways to stay active and maintain your progress while you're away so that you don't come back feeling bloated and blah. Because, like, there's nothing worse than feeling like you got, you got these results leading up to a vacation and you felt awesome the first day, but by the second day, you were already feeling sluggish and didn't have that newfound energy that you're used to. So we really talked through how to go about each of these different occasions and, how to just have the balance, don't go overboard, and, you'll continue to see progress. And then again, the main thing is even if you did go a little overboard, when you get back from that vacation, it's just normal life to go back to prioritizing protein, making sure you're around the right calorie intake and hitting those workouts that are programmed for you. So you are never going to fail as long as you keep trying. And that is the main thing that I have to tell most of my clients, but especially Shannon, is one bad day does not equal no results. Okay. You had one good month. One bad day isn't going to do anything as long as you just jump right back in, okay? And the worst mistake that people make is jumping on the scale after that one bad day because having more food than you usually do usually involves more sugar and more salt, and it causes you to retain more water. So you probably gained almost no fat. You would have to eat an absurd amount of calories to gain a few pounds of fat in a day. So, really, what you're seeing on the scale is extra food and water in your body, which doesn't make any difference. The only way that you start gaining fat is if you completely give up and continue on that route of saying it doesn't even matter anymore because I lost 3 pounds in the past 3 weeks and I gained it back in one day. No, you did not gain 3 pounds of fat in one day. You are retaining water, you have extra food in your body, and if you just get right back to it, by the end of the week, you'll probably be another pound down, like 4 pounds down instead of back at your starting weight. Okay. So keep that in mind if you are going to weigh yourself. But my general advice is if you just got back from a vacation, a wedding, a holiday, a date night cheat meal, like anything, don't weigh yourself for at least 3 to 4 days because that's going to be more accurate than weighing yourself right after and stressing about what is really nothing other than water retention. Okay. So we tracked our progress in the app that I use with all my clients, and we made changes as we went to avoid plateaus. I already kind of went into this, but the first change we made was 2 workouts a week, 1,200 calories, a little more than she was eating. And some people need to eat less. Some people are overeating and we, bring it down a little bit. But the key here is starting with something sustainable. So even if I thought Shannon was supposed to be eating around 1,600 calories a day, that is like double what she was eating. So like we had to work up to that point slowly. The more sustainable the changes are and the less drastic, the easier it is to follow. So let's say your calorie deficit is 1,800 calories and you've just looked and you're eating like 2,800 calories right now. Don't go straight to 1,800 calories. You are going to feel hungry. You're going to feel tired. You are going to want to eat everything you see. You are going to end up in a restricting and binging cycle. And I do not want that for you. And even if you don't, even if you have so much willpower that you stick to the 1,800 calories every day, what is going to happen if you have more than a little bit of weight to lose is you're going to see progress for about a month to a couple months, and then you're going to hit a plateau. And say you have like 60, 70 pounds to lose. When you hit that plateau, you're going to have to drop the calories again. All right. So you might see progress for another month. You hit a plateau, you're going to have to drop the calories again. So if you go straight to as low as possible, you're not giving yourself much room to make those changes. Okay. Because a lot of the times I see people who, similar to Shannon and some other clients I have gone, straight from whatever to like 1,000 calories a day. Their bodies got used to it, and then there's no more room to go down. Of course, you can see progress going up, but then we have to make the progress a lot more drawn out, okay? So try not to undereat. Don't make drastic changes. You might have to go up a little bit, you might have to go down a little bit, but make it very minimal. Make it not feel like such a drastic change. And this is how it becomes sustainable, okay? It's okay if it takes time to get to the calories that you should be at. And absolutely do not go into MyFitnessPal and put in your weight and all your information and say that you want to lose 2 pounds a week, because it'll tell you to eat an absurdly low amount of calories, okay? Please don't do that. Please don't start with 1,200 or less calories. It is going to make the journey harder than it needs to be, and we don't want that, okay? Small changes over time. So with all the resources, the plans, and the support I gave Shannon, all she had to do was show up, know that it's not always going to be perfect, commit to learning, and do her best, knowing that if she did that, I would continue to coach her until she reached her end goal, and she did. So that's the thing with my programs. If you commit to a certain amount of time and we chat and realize that, your long-term goal is possible in that amount of time, we set that goal, and I will continue coaching you at no extra cost until we reach it. Okay. So when you invest in one of my programs, you are basically guaranteeing that you are going to get there. So if you can relate to Shannon's story and you feel like you could use some support getting to your goals, you can book a free consultation to chat with me. So this is for you if you struggle with your confidence, your energy levels, and seeing the results you want. If you feel you're so busy taking care of everyone else in your life that you barely have time left for yourself. If you feel like you are stuck in a cycle of starting over and chasing quick results and giving up when things don't go perfectly, it does not have to be that way, okay? Let's change the narrative. My mission is to help busy moms find little pockets of time, no matter how small, to pour back into themselves, to finally feel confident in their own skin and have the energy and mental clarity that you need to keep up with your kids. Because let's be real, you need a lot of it. Okay. I know, trust me. And you don't have to do it alone. I am here to help. So click the link in the caption to book your free call and let's have a chat.